Hello and welcome to Tartan Touchdown and Conversation With. We have another special guest lined up for you on this week's episode. Before we get to our guest, as always, it takes two of us to do this, and join me in the co-host here tonight. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good. I thought you were saying that I was the guest today. I was getting really excited and ready to give my absolutely non-background in flag football to the world. But no, really excited to be here. Really excited to highlight this amazing guest we have on this evening.
This episode's guest is one of two we've got this month, but allow us to shine a spotlight on the pathway from the UK to the NFL. The NFL Academy helps young players develop all over the world to give them an opportunity to try and achieve their dreams of one day playing in the NFL. Joining us in this episode is a man that wears my favourite American football number 88. He's living his best life in Philadelphia as a Temple Owls tight end. It's NFL Academy alumni Peter Clarke. Thanks for joining us, Peter. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Excellent, thank you very much. Thanks for making the time to join us tonight. I know you have got finals and exams and stuff like that coming up, so we do really appreciate that.
No, it was great. We've been trying to get this done for a while, so it was great to kind of get on here and get it going.
It's always an issue with the time difference, is trying to get something that works for everybody, but we've managed to make it work, so thanks for that. I read that you previously wore number 87 in tribute to Jerry Anderson. What's the reason for number 88?
So I got here and Temple already gone through a couple of head coaching changes and stuff like that, and there was a guy that's been here for he graduated here after being here for 5 years, and he wore 87, so there wasn't no taking it from him without an issue. So I was like, okay, I'm here, I'm on a new level. Let me just add 88. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
excellent. As a Cowboys fan, you can see why I would like number 88 because it is one of our numbers. But mine's actually starts from the NFL Europe and the Scottish Claymores player. Sean LaChapelle used to wear number 88. He was my favourite player, so that's that. So we digress. For those that are listening and watching, if you are new to In Conversation With, then we aim to tell the whole story of the people involved at all levels of the game that we all love and enjoy, from the first interactions in the sport all the way up to the present day. With that in mind, Peter, at what age did you first learn about this wonderful sport of American football?
So I always watch things like the Super Bowl, the big events, right? But actually liking the sport and understanding it, probably 11, 12. Yeah.
And what was your introduction to it in terms of understanding it? Was it just from watching it, or obviously I read you played flag football at school as well?
Yeah. So the Jags came over and started this game called Jag Tag, right? Flag football game, right?
Right.
Their twist on it. And my secondary school was the pilot program for that. So they came in, did this whole presentation. Michael Bennett was there, the cheerleader, all this, it was crazy. And I was a kid that loved sport. So I was I want to do this. I went there and I was just had so much fun, and I could naturally do things. I was always bigger and longer than everybody else. So I could catch the ball real well. I was just excelling in having fun at the game. And the coach pulled me aside and was like, hey, I don't know what you do for sports, but you could actually make something out of this game. So go to a team. And that's how I got into kind of the BAFA system of playing flag and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So as flag football, as we've seen, flag football has now exploded onto the world scene. For an introduction to the sport, how did you find it as this is an interesting sport to play?
Yeah, it was fun. I always believe this, and this is something that I install into younger players, is if you don't love the game, you're not going to go far in the game. Because when it gets hard and it hurts, you're not going to do it. So flag was great for me to build just the fun of the game. I could have a long day at school, bad things happen in my life. I play flag football, I'm laughing, I'm playing, I'm having fun. So I had so much fun playing the game, it grew the passion to play the game when it got hard.
Yeah, it's a great game for teaching youngsters the fundamentals of the game as well, isn't it? Obviously you say the fun aspect of it, but you get to learn those fundamentals that ultimately will take you where you are now.
Yeah, for sure. There's so much transferable skills from flag football. The game itself, very different.
Yeah.
However, learning how to line up, learning the stance, learning the basic rules of the game, flag gave me so much of a head start in learning the contact game. Just knowing the techniques, I was able to transfer that into the contact game, in the pass game at least.
Yeah. I mean, it's something it's all the simple things. You say, how to run a route as well. If you can't run a route in flag football, you've got no chance of playing this sport at any higher level.
Yeah, it's just when you get to this level in this contact game, the difference on the depth of your route in a yard, right? will tell you if you're going to get thrown the ball and you're going to be on time, or if you're not going to get thrown the ball. So like learning that from flag and learning this is how you break down. This is what a route is. This is what like that was able like to make it a smooth transition.
Yeah. I mean, we are on a bit of the recruiting trail for Team GB. You need to get yourself over for flag football trials and get yourself to LA 2028.
We was literally speaking about this before. If I am not on that Olympic team, it's a robbery.
No, you need to get yourself to trial. We interviewed the GB head coach a few months back, and he literally just said, if you're good enough, you're in, but you need to get yourself to trials and prove yourself. So get yourself along to the trials.
Watch the tape.
Watch the tape. Run it back.
Watch the tape. No, but I was literally saying, like, you got Seydou Traore, right? He was the number 8 tight end in college football last year. Like, plays at Mississippi State. You've got Darren Agu, who played at Vanderbilt. Now he's at New Mexico. Like, you have so much talent in the age range, right? And at the highest level over here. Yeah. Like, if we can translate that and put them on an Olympic team, like, it wouldn't just make the team better. It would also, like, help teach the other guys on the team that don't have that level of experience. Like, this game could go so far for us if we played the cards right. But that's just my opinion, and I'm not a coach.
I mean, as we interviewed Nick, he literally is open to all options and all avenues. Yeah. So maybe you should hook up with Nick, and we'll get in contact with Nick and just kind of a conversation.
Yeah.
So you mentioned there yourself, obviously you get into the contact game in the BAFA system with the London Warriors youth. So what age did you kind of transfer from flag at school to playing youth kitted or tackle?
So I went to the London Warriors like very quickly. I was like 12 or 13 playing flag for them. And then I played U17 contact when I was about 15, 16. I played up. And then I moved. No, I never played U19 contact because once I got into U17 contact, the NFL Academy was announced.
Yeah.
So I was only playing contact for maybe a year, 2 years max, and then COVID hit and we didn't have that second season, and then I went to the academy. So I only played one kitted season with the London Warriors until I moved to the NFL Academy.
So when you were at the Warriors, did you always play tight end, or what position did you play?
Nah, youth kitted football, you play everywhere. Like, you're trying to get enough players to make a team. So like I played O-line, I played tight end, I played receiver, I played quarterback. Like I played everything I could. Like I just wanted to play the game.
Yeah, no, that is the best way. Like you get to learn. So as you mentioned yourself there, we moved on. The NFL Academy was set up in May 2019. And maybe or maybe not right here, but was it the second year of the academy that you got in because of your age? Was that right?
Yeah, I think it was the second year.
Yeah. So talk us through the process? So obviously you're playing a year at the Warriors Youth and the NFL Academy becomes a thing. How do you get from playing Warriors Youth to being in the NFL Academy? Fill that blank in for us.
So first year of the academy, there's huge media presence. OBJ was at the trial. Like, they were doing trials and combines at Tottenham Stadium. Like, it was nuts, right? So it was kind of like a big eye-opener being a year back and being like, okay, look, like, I need to be ready. Like, so you just take, like, practice more seriously. And then COVID hits, right? And there's no practice. There's no nothing. And they announced that trials are going to be, like, video trials. So you had to, like, go to a park and, like, film yourself running, film yourself doing this and, like, upload it for, like, the combine. So, like, we had lockdown rules and you weren't allowed gatherings. So, like, people weren't gathering. But there was, like, combine stuff going on. So, like, I was at the park running hills. Like, we had nothing to do all day. There was no school. It was all online. So, like, we were just running around and stuff. And then we just started recording. Like, I got Instagram things, like, archived on my account, where it's, like, me running, like, code drills, and I'd, like, post it. Me running up here. Like, I just started uploading stuff and, like, just growing attention to, like, what I was doing. And it caught the eye of the coaches there. And I was a bigger kid. And I played with a whole bunch of dudes that were already in the academy. So I had a great opportunity to kind of, like, build a platform and, like, get the coaches to, like, know who I was. And then it was just kind of like my numbers were good and they thought I could develop into something great. So they took me and I got there. And it was a wild time when I first got there because COVID, like, we weren't allowed to play games. You weren't allowed to travel. Like, the way practice was set up was different. Like, there was a period of time where we were on a Zoom call with our strength coach at home, like, doing like, push-ups, like, on a Zoom call. Like, because we weren't allowed to, like, we weren't allowed to meet each other. We weren't allowed to travel. You had all these lockdown protocols. So like the NFL Academy had to find a way where we could all still develop. So like we're on Zoom calls at 5 a.m, like 1, 2, 3, like stuff like that. Like coaches coming up with a whole lift program that you can use resistance band and towels for. Like it was a crazy time. And then we finally get to meet up in person, and we've practiced at New River, which is where they do a lot of the men's finals for BAFA. But the school was a little bit of a drive away, so we used to have to take a coach. Now COVID said no more coaches. So now we're training at a cricket ground, right, next to the school, and it's grass, and like it's just ripping up because now there's football players running. Like my first year at the academy was insane. It was crazy. Like I was thinking about it compared to the last year in the academy when we were in Loughborough, right? And I'm like, we went from tearing up a cricket ground, not being able to touch each other, right, to playing in Loughborough, playing in this big facility, and like it was just that first year in the academy was crazy.
Yeah, just something you said, Peter, there about like social media and how obviously you were basically like posting and stuff, and that's how really you think you gained that kind of traction with the coaches. Do you think now that's something that you would recommend to like people who do play the game who are interested in doing it? Just because I'm looking at it from like how the dance world has changed so much that like a lot of they say to you a lot, "Oh, post your dance clips and stuff," because that's how you get spotted by agencies and stuff. So just wondering if you think that's maybe the way forward for some of these like new players.
Well, this is the deal. Like an in-person evaluation is always going to be the best form of a trial, right? However, like I didn't come from money. Like I couldn't travel. Like social media was how I did everything. So there's also a part of this where you can't upload everything. You can only upload the best stuff. Like you have to think of yourself as a business. Yeah, you're marketing yourself. If you put something trashy on tape and post it, that's like if a coach only sees that one clip on his feed, he's going to think you're terrible. So it's about growing your understanding of like what coaches want to see, pretending to be a coach, and then giving them what they want. So like even when it translates to the college level, 90% of recruiting is done through Twitter or X now, right? Like I had Division 1 offers before I even played a game, because of the clips and practice clips I was uploading on Twitter. Like social media is everything. If you think of yourself as a brand and as like marketing yourself instead of you just being a person, you'll go way further than the guy who does nothing. You have to think of yourself as a brand. Like recruiting, like and my upcoming camp that I'm going to be doing in England, at the end of it, I'm doing a whole Q&A recruitment 101 talk about going to play in Europe, going to play in the college in America, like the different tiers and how that process kind of works. Because going into it, you don't really know as a European, right? Even going to the NFL Academy, like I didn't know what looked good. Like I look at the clips now and I'm like, what was I doing? But like there was no blueprint.
Yeah.
Like everything was new. COVID was new. So like my age group, my like generation, we are the blueprint. Which is why now, like, the guys who were the year behind me, 2 years behind me, they are going to go so much further than we were. Like, I was invited to these, like, all-American combines, like, these best of the best combines, right? We didn't know what they were. Like, I was talking to the NFL Academy, like, hey, like, I got invited to this thing, and they're like, oh, we don't know if we can, like, get you out there. And, like, now there's kids that are going out there and doing it. Like, the running back, he flew out and he's an Army Navy All-American. Like, now the levels are like, go, because the blueprint's there now. We know how this is done. So back to the question, like, social media is everything. Like, if you start thinking, and it can hurt you too. Like, from a young age, like, it taught me that, like, the things you do online have consequences, both good and bad. So, like, I'd say social media is, like, so important.
That's a great bit of advice as well, Peter. So, like you said, it's social media is here to stay. We all know that. It's just making sure that it gets used for the right reasons. Just reminding back slightly. So when you get recruited in NFL Academy, obviously you said that youth kid you were playing every position going. With NFL Academy, do they recruit you to a certain position, or is it a case of getting you on board and then kind of developing you into a certain position?
Yeah, like my coaching staff at the London Warriors, some of them were coaches at the NFL Academy too. Like Coach Tony Allen, head coach of the London Warriors, he was the head coach at the NFL Academy. And a few of my coaches at the Warriors were the coaches at the Academy. And they kind of told me, they were like, your frame and your size, like, you're not going to be a receiver, right? Are you going to be 300 pounds? We don't know yet. You don't lift weights. So it was kind of like, are you going to be an offensive lineman? Are you going to be a tight end? Are you going to be a defensive end? But I always loved like scoring touchdowns. Like that was my thing. So I was like, I want to play tight end. And then that's just what like I was. And like the weight comes, like your body's going to change. So you just got to like fit the mold.
Yeah, perfect. Obviously, like you mentioned, that first year in the academy was a bit crazy because of COVID times and stuff like that. If we go forward to your second year, as an NFL academy player and athlete and student, what did an average day look like for you when you were in the academy?
So the NFL academy was in North London at the time, right? Like the second to last stop on the Piccadilly line on the Underground, right? I lived in South London, right? Just under Brixton, right? Which is the last stop of the Victoria line in South London. So it was like an hour and a half journey to get there every day. So I would wake up usually at like 4:45, 5-ish, if I can remember, like something silly like that. And I'd literally just throw my stuff on, half asleep, like wander myself to get a bus to the Underground station. I'll get the train up there, like, and I get there maybe 6, and we start lifting. We're lifting in the morning. We were a morning lift, afternoon practice program at the time. So we'd lift in the morning, then you'd go to class all day from about 9 a.m. all the way until 12, 1-ish, depending on like what classes you took. And then you get on the buses. During that time, you'd eat, you'd do whatever you need to do. You get on the buses, the coaches, and you drive all the way down to New River. You'd practice for 2-3 hours. By 5, 6 p.m., like it's time to go. We used to go home straight from the practice ground, unless you had like an evening lift. And then you do the whole train journey back. Wouldn't get home till 8, 9 p.m. Then you'd eat, go sleep, and do the same thing the next day. So it was like more than a full-time job when I was at the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that would taught you some good life lessons at that age as well, having that kind of structure and that kind of discipline to do all of that.
Yeah, it was just like, there was a real, like that team when I was there the first 2 years, like Dante Barnett, who just signed an NFL free agency contract with the IPP program. Right?
With the Bengals.
Yeah, like Kofi, right, who's down at UTEP. Darren, like these dudes that were in the NFL academy, like we all didn't come from much, right? Like I was going home in the evenings, like not having nothing to eat. My lunch, I didn't have lunch money. We were eating loaves of bread and protein shakes some days. Like it was rough, and like we were hungry because we knew that if we got it right, we could eat whatever we wanted. We could live wherever we wanted, and like the life was gonna change. So like the dedication and the discipline that came with that like mindset taught me so many life skills, to the point now where when I get to that point and football's over for me, like when I get into the business world and the career world, like I'm destroying everybody. Like I'm gonna be the most driven guy, the first guy in. Like I'm not afraid of hard work. Like I will do what it takes. And those like life lessons that the academy taught you is like what no one really talks about. Everyone sees the offers and the games and the merch, and no one sees like the development of like the person. Because the dudes going in the door are not the same dudes coming out. When you come out of that program, like you're a new person. You're built to like handle what goes on in the world.
Amazing. You mentioned yourself there, you had your first offer before you'd even played a game, and it came from University of Texas, San Antonio, in May 2021. So obviously you said you've not played the game, you've just put all these clips up on social media, you're doing what you can during COVID years, and suddenly there's a D1 college offer on your table. How do you feel when that happens?
So this is what was going on, right? So we couldn't get a game scheduled because of COVID and all this other stuff. So we were practicing a lot. The academy was in shape. We're practicing. So we decided to have like a scrimmage against each other, but in uniform, right? So we did that, and like I had a few good catches, few good blocks, like, and I put those clips up. And it was a Wednesday. We go into practice at about 12 o'clock. And the running back coach from UTSA texts me. He's like, hey, like, we're going to call you on Zoom when you get out of practice. So I get home, and I hop on the Zoom call, and my receiver coach and my OC's on there. And they're like talking to me, all this stuff, talking to me about my game, what they see. And they're like, yeah, we want to extend this offer to you to like play here. And like, it was like, I just froze. Like at the time, I wasn't living at home. Like I had all this crazy stuff happening in my life. And like knowing there was going to be an opportunity for me to like change my life and like everyone around me, like it was very surreal. Like at the time I had never played an 11v11 football game. So it was like, whoa, like if they're doing this now, like what could I be? I had 2.5 years left of the NFL Academy. Like what could I be?
Yeah.
And then like after that, the phone just like kept ringing, and like schools just started like trying to get me out and visit. Like it was wild. It was a crazy time.
We'll come to them in a wee second because there was a lot of phone calls to go through. So as you
Yeah.
said, post-COVID, the first game the NFL Academy managed to play was in April 2022, which was against Dusseldorf's Panthers. How did it feel to kind of get, as a team, we can actually play a competitive game now?
It was good. Like it was kind of like we knew we were good and we were better than everybody. Like we just knew we practiced so long before the first game. Like we had years. Like the NFL Academy literally had years of practices without a game. Like we would have steamrolled whoever we played. That was the mindset. Like if COVID hits again, this is the only chance we have to play a game. Like no one is gonna stop us.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, it was just we just let all this weight off our chest of like not being able to play a game, going back and forth with like the media, like Bristol Pride and all these teams that were saying like we're the best academy, we're the best team in Europe, and like we know what we were before we played a game. So like all these like things going on, like it was such a weight lifted off our chest to just go out there and just play.
Right. And if my timeline is correct, the time you played that game, you now had 4 Division 1 offers. So obviously we mentioned UTSA, you'd Arkansas State, Nevada and Tulane had all made you an offer by that point, if that timeline sounds about right.
Yeah.
And you'd also had 3 unofficial visits with Temple, Penn State and Maryland. So that must have given you a lot of confidence, and you must be thinking, I'm doing something right here if I'm getting all this attention.
Yeah, it's like the recruiting process does give you confidence, because it's not just you turn up on a visit. Like these coaches are calling and expecting you. They're like, hey, when do you get here? Hey, like when you get here, like, and all this stuff. And then I get to like some of these visits, and like I see some of the players and I see the size of them, and I'm standing next to them like, hey, like I still got 2 years left of school and like of high school, and like I'm bigger than these dudes. Like I can do this. And then you get back to Europe and you play against whatever team you play against. Who do we play? We played RIG, who had 3 Division 1 dudes. Like, and like we play against these teams, and like we are manhand. Like I drove a dude off the field in Sweden into a fence. Like, and when you're doing these things and this process is going, like the confidence builds. But the one thing about the NFL Academy and that team we had, dudes like Kofi, dudes like Dante, like there was never arrogance. Like it was confidence. Like we knew that we was gonna like beat someone to the point where they didn't want to play football anymore. And it wasn't like we're so good. Like we just knew, like we practiced too hard. Like we worked too hard. Like this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like that conviction of like who we were and what we could do is what carried most of us so far.
Right. Obviously, we mentioned that game was in April 2022. We were talking just before we came on. On either side of that game, you had a camp in Texas and an Under Armour camp in the northeast of the US as well. So how much do you think those 2 camps, obviously we talked about you've done social media, you'd had that one game against Dusseldorf, but those 2 camps, how much do you think they allowed you to kind of put a spotlight on yourself and showcase yourself?
Yeah. So I would say that I was blessed, right, to have offers before I went out. Because what that does is it puts me on a radar. It lets them know, hey, like this kid has offers. Like this kid, like for some reason, these schools have offered him, like he's worth a look, right? So these schools and these coaches start texting you, hey, like what camps are you going to? Hey, come to this camp. This is where I'm going to be. And you start telling them, hey, these are the camps I'm going to. And often like, so I got offered by Kansas, right? Who are like big school. They're in the Big 12, like famous school for basketball. Like, but football program was very good too. The coach literally came to all 3 camps that I was at. Like he followed me to the camps. So you kind of build this like, okay, I'm gonna be here, here, and here, and there's like a recruiting trail too. So like our coaches planned a great trip. They knew where the coaches was gonna be. They knew what opportunities there was gonna be. So go into camp already with coaches lining up, being like, okay, this kid's going there. I got a fan one to show you guys. I printed out business cards, right? I had a picture of me like at the combine so you could see what I look like. I had all my stats. I had a QR code to find my Twitter and my huddle and all my tape. And I would get to the camp 2 hours before it started, shaking the hand of every coach I could, introduce myself, give them a card, leave them with an impression, right? Now they can match the business card to the play that I'm doing during the camp. And like I started building relationships with some of the coaches, DMing them on Twitter. I also had a great coaching staff and Coach Ian. and some of the other NFL, Coach Ross from the NFL Academy, who came to the camps with us, and like they'd literally stand there and record the reps that we took, right? So now I didn't just have a game film; I had a 2.5 minute drill film, 2.5 minute rep one-on-one film against American competition, right? Kids who had offers. I remember I had a one-on-one rep at the Under Armour camp against some 4-star kid who was committed to like, or had an offer from Bama, right? And I won the rep, like great catch, like good route. I put that on Twitter. I had like tens of thousands of views on it. Like it blew up my recruiting. So like these little milestones, these little like go to camp, do well, go on visits, post these pictures, like those like social media milestones also help create buzz. And a lot of coaches like follow buzz. Like one school offers you from one conference, the rest of the conference is like, who's this kid? And next thing you know, like I had Tulane, Temple, UTSA, like these schools are all in the same conference.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it was transformational going to those camps. Like my recruiting process wouldn't have been the same if I didn't.
It's very much like if one team in a division or a conference wants you, the rest of them want to be, well, we don't want to miss out. What is that? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that.
So now we're kind of in the middle of 2022 at this point. How do you feel that you've now developed? So going back, you joined the academy just like during the COVID times. We're now at the middle of 2022. How do you feel you had grown and developed as a player during that time?
Yeah, like night and day. Like I went from just running routes because that's what the piece of paper said for the play to like understanding why. Okay, I'm running this route, so this guy can run this route. And then these are going to be the open spots. These are the reads. This is what a defense is doing. This is where the holes are. Like just understanding not what you're doing, but why you're doing it was the first like big step. Along with like my body, like being with a strength coach, like having like nutritional advice, like following a program, like your body just like blows up. Like it's asking for food, it's asking for weights, and like when you give it to it, like it just blows up. So it was that first year, that first like year and a half was like night and day in terms of a player.
Yeah.
Like even just taking hits, like I'm taking hits of players that are like real athletes, like real dudes who lift weights too. Like I'm not just the biggest kid on the field anymore. Like these dudes lift weights too. So like just learning that whole process was just fun.
Excellent. So by the end of June 2022, you've now got 14 Division 1 offers sitting on your table. So you mentioned a couple of them there. You mentioned Kansas. You've also got North Texas, Eastern Michigan, and obviously a Temple as well. So you're sitting here, 14 offers on the table. How do you process all that?
Like the honest answer is like I didn't really have time to. Like the journeys, waking up in the morning, like you had so much like stuff to do at the academy, especially like then I'm traveling an hour and a half. Like I had home situations going on, stuff from like people in the area bothering. Like so much stuff is happening in my life at this point in time. I'm like, yo, like I got offers. I can get out of here in a year and a half. I gotta make it a year and a half. Like that honestly was my mindset. Is like, hey, like these schools are waiting on me, but I gotta get to the point where I can go. Like I need to look after myself, stay out of trouble. Like so, like I was still playing football, and I just stayed hungry. Like I was never satisfied with like the offers. Like the offers were great, and it gave me confidence. But like it was always like I need to keep going. I need to be better. And then when it got to the point where I was like, okay, cool, like I'm in a good spot. It was I'm going there, and there's 6 tight ends in that tight end room that I got to beat to play. Like I got to lift, I got to train hard. Like it was always more. Like there was always more to do. Like it was never enough. Like I'm a very driven, focused person, so there was just more to do.
Yeah. So like, as you mentioned, so you got the 14 offers on the table. Like when you start to process like where you might want to go, obviously talk about why you chose where you did choose, but when you've got all these offers in front of you, what's the process you go through to eliminate schools or think that could be one, that's definitely not one? What does that process look like?
The first thing is level of interest, right? Are they offering me because another school in the conference offered me? Are they offering me because they just like we can just get this guy and he's a good practice body? So that's like the first check. The second check is scheme, right? Tight end is a weird position. You have a 6'2", 200-pound route runner who's the tight end. You have a 6'7", 280-pound run blocker who's also a tight end, right? Like, does the offense run the ball? Like, how are they going to use me? Am I their right build and body type for what they want to do? Am I going to play here, right? Like, You don't want to. That's dudes who like go to schools and don't play for 2 to 3 years, and then like their last year or two is where they have to like shine to get a shot at going to the NFL. Like, am I going to develop and am I going to play here? Was a big question. And then it's down to like relationships too. Like, are you going to be able to adapt to the culture of the team and the area you live in and become like, for me, like a temple guy? Like, are you going to become a temple guy and be someone the coaches are going to look at to be a leader, look at to like represent the brand? Are you going to be a guy that like can bring others along, right, and teach the way it's done, right? That was a big thing. But for me, it really came down to like, am I going to play and develop? Because I love playing football. I don't like watching football from the sidelines. Like, I'm made to play the game, right? So it was like, am I going to play and develop? Am I going to be respected and a guy that's going to be brought in to be a leader and a culture builder? Like, am I going to have a great relationship with my coaching staff and be trusted? And then it was really like, what is the culture of the place I live in, right? Like, I'm an inner city, South London guy. Like, do I want to be sitting next to palm trees and sand all day? Probably not, right? Like I want to be in the inner city. I want to be somewhere that's tough, that's gritty, like somewhere that's going to challenge me to be better every day. So like, that's kind of like the process. And it's hard because you haven't visited some of these schools, right? And you've only got 5 visits you can take. Like, the process is tough. And then you're not the only tight end they're looking at. They're recruiting other dudes too. So it's kind of a game of chess. And then it's like, most teams only take 1 tight end a cycle, right? Especially now with the transfer pool, no one's taking high school guys. Like, the portal is like being hit hard, right? So it's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go visit these schools, but these schools here that I really like as well, they're recruiting dudes, and if someone commits, my spot's gone on my offer, I lose my offer, right? So it's kind of this like game of like chess where it's like, okay, cool, this is my short list, this is where I'm gonna visit, this is what I'm gonna see. This like, it was tough, but like I just felt at home here.
So what we need to remember now, see, fast forward a couple of years when Peter's in the NFL draft, he doesn't want to go to a team that's got palm trees and a beach. The Cardinals are out.
So we're both in.
Every Florida
Cardinals
team's out.
Every Florida team's out. LA's out. I take that all back.
No. It's not like that. Obviously, you'd enjoy it, but like, it was just like coming out of high school. It wasn't like I'm never going to a place. It was like, I'm moving halfway across the world as an 18, 19-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to get this culture shock, this place where I'm uncomfortable, and then have to play Division 1 football and go to school and have a time difference. Like, for me, it was, where can I go that's going to get me, like, in a mindset where I don't have to worry about the area I live in. I don't have to worry about this huge culture shock. I don't have to worry about a 15-hour flight home. Like, it was just like, where can I go that's going to develop me, that I'm going to play, that I have a great relationship? Where can I go that I don't get a huge culture shock, and somewhere that like I can fall in love with? And like Philadelphia, New York, Baltimore, those cities there are very similar to London. So for me, it was like, I got off the plane, I was like, like this place feels like home. Like, I can dominate here, like I can live here, like I'll be comfortable here. But like, obviously, as you grow and you develop and you become like a man and you're not like some kid anymore, it's like, the palm trees would be nice.
I'll take the sun anytime. It's fine. Next thing you know, you'll be up in Detroit, living life.
Lambo with the snow.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it definitely is intimidating as like a 18, 19-year-old kid. So it's kind of what swayed the decision too. Is like, I didn't want to deal with like basically a new world. Like, I wanted to go somewhere that like I'd be supported by like what I felt comfortable with.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, it sounds without being patronising, it does sound like a very grown-up way to make the decision. It's not just I'm going to go and play for the best college that there is, that type of thing. So it is very good to hear that. So what I was going to say was, obviously, that all those reasons you've listed as why you chose to go to Temple. Was there ever any other schools that were close to your decision, or was it always Temple?
No, there was a few places that were close, but like, this coaching staff that was here at the time, Coach Drayton, Coach Shire, Coach Weeze, like, they installed like so much confidence in the way they were speaking to me. Like, I knew if I came here, I was gonna be like cared about more than just football. So it was kind of like, that's what kind of pushed me over the edge.
Perfect. So you came out to Temple in the August. you fly over in October 2022 for your visit. So in the lead up to that, how does it feel? Like, what's going through your mind? What's the emotions you're feeling going over for that visit?
It was crazy because it was like, you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to be playing Division 1 football. I'm going to be going to America, right? But then it's like, okay, cool, here's your plane ticket. You're coming over on a visit. You're going to be watching a game in the Eagles Stadium. I'm in this nice hotel right next to the river, going out for dinners. Like, it was just like I can't believe I've done this moment. Like, it all came to like realization. Like, this was worth the wake ups. This was worth like everything I've been through. So it was wild. Like, my visit was great. Like, I loved it.
So there'll be a lot of people watching, listening that don't really know how these visits work, Peter. So like, what happens during these visits when you go over for that first official visit?
Yeah, so an official visit, you get 5 of them coming out of high school. It's like a 2-day visit, right? So they fly you out, you and a couple people, like your family and stuff. So they fly you out, put you in a really nice hotel, right? You go out for dinners, you see the facility, you do a photo shoot in the uniform. You speak to like the academic people and you do like the official stuff like really quick, like trying to get done, right? And then like you go out to dinners, you meet the head coach, you watch a practice, you watch a game, you do an activity. Like, you're basically treated like a superstar for like 2 days, and it's great. Like, drive around in golf carts, do whatever you want. It's nice.
So from that point on to getting there, it's a very quick process. So we're talking October 2022. You have your visit, and suddenly we're in January 2023, and you're getting ready to fly over there. That's you. You're going. Like, how did the academy prepare you for that shift in your life? Did they teach the athletes what the life's potentially going to be like, and how did they prepare you for that?
Well, we moved to Loughborough last year in the academy, right? So we were in like apartment style living. So like the NFL Academy program, like at the time, imaged Division 1 life like quite well. Like, different levels of football, different levels of education, all that stuff, right? But like your day to day was like very similar. Like, you're in like an apartment with your teammates, right? You're gonna organize lifts with strength coaches in a weight room, practice. Like, my day to day back then, that last year at the academy, was very similar to my day to day now. Like, I'm living close to campus, right? I wake up, organize lifts, strength coaches, position meetings, go to class, practice, film in the evenings. Like, that whole process was the same at the academy. So like, mentally I was prepared to like, I was ready. Physically is what needed to change. Like, the level of the game, speed of the game, physicality, like all that stuff like needed to develop when you got over here. But like, the NFL Academy did a great job like mimicking what goes on over here.
Yeah. Obviously, when you're ready to leave that January, there's obviously going to be a lot of emotions to deal with. There'll be a lot of excitement, I'm assuming, a lot of nervousness, sort of leaving your family in the UK. How did you manage to cope with all those emotions when you're like, this is now happening, everything I've worked towards, I'm about to step on the plane and go and do that?
And like, funny you say that, because that's something that helped me. Is like, before I had an offer, I knew this is where I was going to be. Like, I knew I was going to be over here. Like, I was hell-bent on getting to where I wanted to go. So, like, when it was finally time to come, it wasn't really like a nervous thing. It was like, finally. Like, it was like relief. And like, that last year in the academy, didn't live at home. Like, we lived in the Midlands, like apartment style, living with your teammates. Before that, I stayed with a few teammates. Like, I wasn't living at home. So, like, it wasn't kind of like, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to miss home. It was kind of just like, damn, like, all my friends and family are back here. I miss people more than the place.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, it was more relief than fear.
Yeah. As you mentioned, one of the reasons you chose to go to Temple was it's a city you're going to be comfortable with. It's very similar to where you were living in the UK. How long did it take you to adjust to life in the US? Because I think I remember one of the stories you were telling George when he interviewed. It was about the whole you couldn't put something in the bin; it had to be the trash can and stuff like that. How long did it take you to adjust to that sort of stuff?
Like, it is annoying to say the least. Like, just like the little parts of the like language where it's like, it's just, you call stuff differently. The way you say things is different. The pronunciation of words. Like, the biggest thing for me was communication. Like, funny story, right? We have, at the time, with the offense is different now. We don't run this offense, new coaching staff, so I can speak about this, right? We had a protection called cool and warm, right? So cool spelled COOL, right? I get subbed into the game late, the practice late, and I run to the quarterback. I'm like, "What's the cool?" Like CALL, like play cool, right? But they sound the same to me because the way I speak. So he's looking at me like, "There's no cool protection. Like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong?" Right? And then we go back and forth, and the play clock's going in practice. So I just line up, just run a route. It was a running play. Like, it was a mess, right? The OC marches over, right? Starts chewing me out. And I'm like, I didn't get the cool. And he's like, there's no cool protection. I'm like, the play cool. And then he doesn't get it. And we tussle, and it was rough. So just like things like that, right? The little pieces of communication, right? Made life a little bit frustrating at times when I first got over here. But over time, like, you can hear some of my words, like, just like the little tinge of the accent is what makes life over here easy. But outside of that, like, the biggest thing for me was like going to restaurants, or like not even restaurants, like going to get a drink from like a coffee shop and like having to give a tip, right? Like, tipping culture over here, yeah, is insane. Like, half the time you're on an iPad ordering your own food and then it asks you for a tip. What are we doing? Right? So like, it's little things like that took me a while to get used to. Obviously living in a city like London, public transport's great. It's very walkable. America isn't always like that. So like, took something to get used to. But like the food and stuff, like the food's good. Like, stuff's similar. Like, you can find what you like here. But like the biggest things was like communication, and then like being like walkable and stuff like that.
Yeah, excellent. When you arrived in January, you're straight into the off season at that point. So was it literally straight to work when you got there?
So my visa got delayed, right? So I missed the induction period. So when I got here, it was full swing workouts that were made to kill you. Yeah, I got there a couple weeks late. So instead of starting at week 1 of the program, I started at like week 3 or 4. And like, when I tell you, I've never felt like the way I felt that first week, yeah. Oh, I was in my dorm room like, yo, these guys are going to kill me. It was wild. It was wild. Because you do mat drills, right, in the winter. So you do winter workouts and then mat drills. Mat drills are like 5 a.m., you're outside, just doing the craziest stuff you could think about. Like, 2 dudes go up, they put their hands on a tire, and you have to rip out the other man's hands. And like, you go from that straight to doing like the mat drill itself, which is like a crazy, like, it's basically just like cardio. You just up, downs, roll, all that sort of stuff. Like tire pulling. We did one where it's like a sumo ring, right? And 2 guys, one on this shoulder, one on this shoulder, like you're hugging like an agile bag, and you gotta like drive the man out the circle. Like, basically, you just you get an enemy on the team, and you're basically just trying to kill each other the whole workout. And you do that like twice a week. And that was my first workout, was mat drills, because I got here on like a Tuesday, and mat drills was on like Wednesday.
Wow.
So like, it was crazy when I first got here.
A well-true baptism of fire that would be.
It was rough. And like, my coach laughed. He was like, "You're gonna see why this is gonna benefit you." And like, in the moment, I never saw it. I was like, "This just hurts. Like, what are we doing?" But nah, it was like, that first week was rough. Like, getting here like late, like I did, like, it was rough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We were talking before we started recording, in that off season you broke your arm as well. So tell us a story behind that, because you were holding back on telling us about that before.
Yeah. So I got like a scar here.
Big battle wound.
And it was so you do full camp, right? Which is preseason camp. It's basically the month of August, every day, no class, just football, right? Getting ready for the season. And like, I'm having a good camp, like things are good. And then like, literally the second to last day of camp, we're running split zone, right? So basically the tight end is going to run across the formation behind the O-line and block the backside C-gap, right? So my job is to basically stop the defensive end that's trying to like contain the edge. So I swipe across there. I go to hit him with my shoulder. He's exhausted and gets lazy, right? Dips his head. The crown of his helmet, goes into my forearm. And I just feel my hand like drop, right? And I was like, oh, like, this is not good. So then we get x-ray, my bone's in 2 pieces. It's rough, right? and they told me, hey, like, you can have surgery, you can like just let it heal, like, what do you kind of want to do? And I was like, hey, can we just leave it and like just put a club on it so I can just keep playing? And they were like, okay, cool. So then we let it like start the healing process, start some calcification and stuff. Put a club on it, missed the first game, and then I was played with a club my whole freshman year.
Wow. I was going to ask you how did that impact on you, but obviously it didn't.
Yeah, no. Like
I mean,
I just told myself, like, I didn't move halfway across the road to watch my first season with a broken arm. Like, I told my coach this, and he was like, I don't really want to hear that. I said, if I got shot in the shoulder on the Wednesday and the game's on the Saturday, believe I'm playing on the Saturday. Like, it's fine. Like, I'll play through anything.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, there must be a point when it first happened. You must have thought to yourself, I'm just here, I'm just trying to prove myself, and suddenly I've got this injury. Was ever that thought, or was it always, nah, I'm still going, or did you ever have, was there kind of that bit of thought in your mind at one point?
No, because like it happened, and I thought it was broken, but like I still had strength, right? And like we didn't know if it was broken or not, so like we had to get the X-ray. So once the X-ray came back and they called me, like I was sad. Like there was like a moment where I was sad, but then it was like, okay, cool. Like switch the thought. Like we got to start like getting ready for more stuff. So like there was definitely some sadness, but like it wasn't long. Like I just got ready for the next task.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, you missed the first game of the season, but you kitted up for a second game against Rutgers. So you've all this sacrifice, everything you've done, all the long hours travelling to the academy. You're suddenly on taking to the field for your first ever game for Temple. How was that for you?
So they played Rutgers the year before, and it was a close game. I think they won by like Rutgers won by like a field goal, and like it was so like there was a lot of like we're gonna beat Rutgers next year, right? So there was a lot of hype going into the game, and we played them at night at their place. Like it was crazy. They were wearing all black, we was wearing all white. There was some beef between the teams. Like it was heated, and it was like I couldn't ask for a better situation to like play my first game in than that. We ended up losing the game, but like just playing the game, playing in that atmosphere, playing with that crowd, the fireworks, the noise, like it was a great experience, and it was a great way to like play my first game of college football.
Yeah. Fast forward a few weeks, October 2023, UNLV, you're playing first touchdown. How's that for you?
So we go into that game against UTSA, right? And it was just like, okay, cool. These dudes offered me out of high school my first offer, kickstarted my recruiting process, and they were new to the conference, right? So it was kind of like, okay, cool. Like I need to play good against these guys. Like I want to like prove a point as to why like I came here and not there. Type. So I was just like, I was young. I was just like playing games, like trying to like find a way. Because like for me, I make everything personal, right? So in my head, I'm like, how can I make this personal? Like, how can I like get these guys? So that's what I just came up with. So like, I just really wanted to score. I wanted to play good and all this stuff. And we ran this play on the goal line, and I was meant to be like a waller for the guy coming underneath me. So I was not even meant to be a read. Like the quarterback doesn't even look at me, right? And we get there, and everyone goes for the guy that was supposed to get the ball. So I like snapped my head up, put my arms out. I was like, "Throw me the ball!" And then EJ Warner threw me the ball and scored a touchdown. It was just like that moment was like a real like, oh my, what the hell just happened? Right, and before I get to the locker room after the game, NFL Academy, NFL UK's posted it on Instagram. Like, it was crazy. Like, the attention that got and, like, the impact it had on, like, kids back home, like, was great. Like, it was just a crazy moment.
Yeah, well, I said UNLV, also it was UTSA. I could get my letters mixed up there. Do you have the game ball? Do you get to keep the game ball?
No. We ended up that was a really close game. I think we lost by like one score, but like yeah, no, I didn't keep no game ball or nothing. It was kind of just like it was wild though because we had 4 touchdowns by tight ends in that game.
Wow.
So like it was good. It was good.
Excellent. So that season, as a team, you finished 3-9 yourself, 2 receptions for 18 yards and that touchdown. So how do you reflect, thinking back now, how would you reflect on that first season at Temple?
Well, there was a lot of learning. I played under a dude, DMR, David Martin Robinson, who plays for the Titans now. And just like being able to learn from him. He was a dude who was injured his whole career, right? season-ending injury here, season-ending injury there. And his last year at Temple played 900 snaps in a single year, right? Earned his way onto an NFL roster. So it was like being able to play under that dude and learn from him was like, I can't thank him enough for the experience he gave me. Taking me under his wing and like teaching me how things are done. Like me and him speak all the time still. So like it was just a big like whatever the record said, I wasn't concerned with that.
Yeah.
I was just concerned on continuously like developing. So like it was a great learning experience.
Yeah.
And it's also like that feeling of like losing those games and a lot of close games and stuff like that. Like it was a feeling that I didn't want to feel like again, and it kept giving me that fire to like keep improving and keep being motivated.
Yeah. Get into last season, then you were joined in the tight end room by Daniel Everett last season, another NFL Academy alumni. How was it having him in the team with you? No?
He didn't go to the NFL Academy.
Internet tells me lies. Sorry, so how was it working? How was it having him in the tight end room with you? Obviously, I know
it was good. So like, I was his host on his official visit, right? And like, I'm not gonna say like where we went, but let's just say like he had probably the most fun time, right? He could have had in Philadelphia that weekend, right? It was like a hot summer weekend, like it was great, right? And he loved this place. He loved like the way I like brought him in and like was like, hey, like listen, like I want you to play here. You're a European guy. I'm a European guy. Like let's just go have fun this visit, and then we'll talk football like after, right? So it was great, and like he loved it here, and he committed here, and just having him in the room. Like being able to like, I got brought in by Europeans that were on this team, right? And they showed me the way. So being able to then pass that down again was great. But no, Daniel was a great dude. Like we hang out all the time. Yeah, it was great to have him here.
Yeah. So again, this season for yourself, just looking at obviously you mentioned not about stats, but two touchdowns last season for you as well. So obviously, how now you've now been there for 2 years? How do you feel you're now progressing as a player at the end of last season?
Yeah, so like unfortunately I've had some injuries. Like you can see, like is it this hand? Yeah, this hand. This knuckle like is deeper than like this hand.
Oh yeah.
So like I ended up breaking this hand too. I broke this hand. I broke this arm. So like I've always played like last season I played like hurt, injured like the whole year. Like we had lack of like depth at times in the tight end room, and coach was like, "Hey, like I know you're injured. Like we need you, man." So like there, I don't feel like I've even been able to showcase what I can do yet. Like everything I've done it when I've been limited. I can only do so much because of the injuries I have, right? So like I feel like there's so much more to come in the future for me. Like I work hard every day. Like I work hard to achieve my goals every day, and like I don't know, it's just there's so much more for me to build on.
Yeah. As you mentioned there, new coaching system this year. Casey Keeler is your new head coach this year. Obviously, it's the off-season just started, but can you see differences in what he wants from the team compared to previous regimes?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know if you've looked at his resume. Like, his resume is insane.
Yeah.
Multiple national championships, multiple conference championships. He's one of, like, 5 active head coaches with, like, over a crazy amount of wins or something like that. Like, his resume is crazy, right? So he knows what it takes to, like, win at every level he's been at.
Yeah.
So he's brought in a coaching staff who want to win, and they want to win right now. And they've been a coaching staff who has been successful. Our offensive coordinator, O-line coach, they came from Montana State, who were in the FCS Division I National Championship last year, right? Their offensive stats, some of the highest in the country in every category. Like, they've brought in a coaching staff who are like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it, and we're going to win. So there's been a big shift in energy in the building, big shift in confidence and, like, belief in what we can do. So, yeah, he definitely shook the building up a little bit in a good way.
Yeah, that's good. Sometimes you need that as well. So, like you say yourself, you've not been able to show yourself. You're now getting fitter. You've now, like, I've got a new head coach that I can impress with. I'm at my best compared to what you were the last 2 seasons as well.
Yeah, like, it's just a fresh start for everybody, like, coaches included. Like, this place is a proving ground, and, like, we've all got the opportunity to do something special this year.
Yeah. And how's your off-season been going so far?
It's good. Like, the new strength staff, new coaching staff, like, the way we practice, the way we lift is different, and, like, our bodies have changed. Like, I feel like a lot more in shape than I have been. Also, like, due to, like, the injuries and stuff too, like, I've been able to stay healthy, been able to, like, look after my body. So, I don't know, it's all positive right now.
Yeah. Talking about the new head coach and kind of fresh starts for everybody. I didn't know about this until I did a bit of research, but you have the cherry and white spring game at Temple. Was that a couple of weeks ago? That kind of
Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago.
yeah. So people don't know it's like the team splits and you basically play scrimmage against each other, don't you, and kind of try and prove yourself. So when a new head coach coming in, did that kind of make that game even more important than maybe previously would have been?
Yeah, so like with the transfer portal, right? Like people like can leave, they can bring people in, and like with a new coach and stuff, there's like position profiles, right? Like not every school in the country wants a 6'6", 265-pound tight end, right? Some tight ends are going to be in the slot running routes all the time, and they're not going to be run blockers, right? So like it was like okay, learning what the coaches want, right, and like learning like where you're going to fit in the scheme. So that was a big part of spring, but then it's like there's a part of like dudes are gonna step away from the team, right? Like some dudes aren't gonna be good enough, some dudes aren't gonna fit. So like it was kind of like they were showing us what they wanted, and they were evaluating us, but we were also evaluating them. So it was a weird situation. It was like building relationships, but like trying to figure each other out. Like, but it was just like just be you. That's what I always say. Like being you is always gonna be enough. Like in every capacity.
Yeah.
Sports, work, family, relationships. Like being you is always gonna be enough. So like I was just me and did what I do and behave how I behave and be me, and it was enough. So, yeah.
So we're now 4 months away from the actual season starting. So opening game in August against University of Massachusetts. And what does the next 4 months kind of look like for you then in terms of prep, off season, all that sort of stuff? Obviously, we'll come to talk about you coming back to the UK in a couple of weeks' time. But what does the next 4 months of the off season look like for you?
So most springs, March, April time it gets done. You have a couple weeks of like discretionary workouts. So like workouts, you just go, you stay in shape, build a little bit, and then everyone goes home for May, right? You either go home, you stay around, that's vacation time, right? Like you work out, you stay in shape, you develop, but like it's your like break before like, hey, we're like doing this thing, right? You get back May, June, July, summer workouts, conditioning, running in the heat, right? Lifting weights, getting in shape, like doing everything you need to do. And then you get to August and it's full camp every day from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Walkthroughs, practice, lifts, meetings, meals, everything. You live in the facility. Last year we had air mattresses. People slept in the facility, like literally. So that's what happens. Preseason camp. You roll all the way to first game. I think it's August 30th.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go until like the 21st, 22nd of August, and then you go into like a game week. So you do. I'm not quite sure how we're gonna do it here, but like what we used to do is you had match up Monday, right? If you play, so this is theoretically the game's on a Saturday, right? Match up Monday. Learn your opponent. This is what they do. This is how they do it. This is their personnel. These are the guys. This is what they do, and you practice, right? And it's a shells practice. So you're FOD contact, right? You're fitting up, but you're not tackling to the ground. And then you get to Tough Tuesday, right? Which is our Tuesday practice, and that was like the worst practice of the week, right? Like you're banging, like you're hitting, like it's rough, right? Then you get to Wednesday, we call it work Wednesdays, right? You're a bit sore from Tuesday's practice. You're working through, still developing, doing scout looks, getting ready for the game. Then we go Thorough Thursday, right? Which is just a walkthrough, right? You're in nothing, you're just in shirts. Like, cool. Best day on the planet, right? And you just get your body back, basically. And then you go, we did Fast Fridays, which is basically a primer, right? You're in Spiders, which is like a shoulder pad without the plastic bit. It's just like a soft, just to protect like your collarbones and stuff because you're still in helmets. And it's basically, you're trying to like sprint, get your nervous system up, get amped up for the game, tune up your body, right? And then you travel Friday night. So we'd go straight from that practice, straight onto a chartered private like plane. You'd fly to wherever you were playing, or you'd go to the team hotel if you're playing at home, and you get ready for the game. So that's kind of like what the next 4 months looks like. That's kind of what the game week looks like. But yeah.
Yeah. So looking ahead to the season, like what have you set yourself any personal goals? Obviously, you speak to any professional athlete, it's always about the team, which is 100% the right way to look at it. But in terms of your own self and personal goals, have you set anything for next season?
Like, I haven't really been like these are the stats I want to hit.
Yeah.
My thing is like, I just like in the run game. I take pride in run blocking, right? Like blocking somebody. Like I just want like the world to like know who I am and like understand that like when I'm gonna put hands on somebody, like they gonna feel it and like it's gonna like I'm gonna win. So like I just want to play the best football I've ever played in my life, and like I got to prepare for that moment and like work towards that and like earn every single opportunity I get this season. But no, I haven't got any hard goals yet for myself. I'm kind of just getting my body right and just like focusing on what's in front of me right now. But as we get towards like full camp, that's when like those goals will kind of ramp up.
Yeah. Before we finish talking about the kind of the college part of your career, it's if you now think about yourself as that first practice you had with the London Warriors youth, could you have ever? You said yourself you felt you were going to get there, but thinking back now, would you ever have envisioned that was the path that you were going to follow at that time?
No, like I didn't even know what Division 1 was when I first started playing football. Like I was doing it because it was something fun to do on a Sunday morning. Like it was just I was having fun and like playing sports and like doing something I loved. So like I didn't even understand what could come from it. It was only when like the academy was announced and I researched. I was like, oh, like I can change my life here. So yeah, I never really imagined it when I was a kid, but now I'm here, man.
You're living that dream of a kid that you didn't know you had.
Yeah, literally.
Excellent. So let's kind of move the conversation a wee bit in terms of inspirations for yourself then, Peter. Like we've mentioned already, well, I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I've seen you follow the Eagles, you're an Eagles fan. Were you already an Eagles fan before you went out there, or was it moving to Philly that made you the Eagles fan?
No, it was definitely, I didn't really support a team. I got a lot of friends in the NFL, so I kind of like support them and like just love the game, right? But like Philly is like the craziest place for sports, right? Like from any sport, like the Flyers to the Phillies for baseball, like Philly fans as well. Like I came here and I had a baseball cap that I wore on my visit, right? I don't follow baseball. I don't know any teams. It was an Atlanta Braves hat, right? I was getting yelled at in the street by these Philly people, yeah, for wearing an Atlanta Braves hat. I didn't know. I also didn't realize the weekend I came on my visit, the Phillies just won the playoff game to go to the World Series, which is like the Super Bowl. So like people was angry, like that I was wearing a Braves hat, right? So like just the energy of the city and the way people like love their sports here, like really made me like follow the Eagles. Like they just won a Super Bowl. It was crazy. Broad Street, there was 100,000 people out there in the street. Like it was crazy. So yeah, like it was just wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think very much like we look at cities like Philadelphia and Baltimore. One you mentioned that are proper, like those kind of blue collar working cities. They love their sports. It's very much like that European football culture where everybody just buys into it, and it's a way of life. It's not just their team; it is a way of life. And Philly's definitely one of those teams.
Yeah, for sure. Like you got something in Philly called like the Philly tuxedo, right? Which is when someone wears like the jersey of a Philly team and the hat of a different one. So it's like an Eagles jersey and a Phillies hat and stuff like that. So like it's more than just a sports team for the people out here.
Yeah, excellent. So I read an interview you've done. You said that you're kind of people you looked up to in the NFL world at the time were Gronk, who obviously is retired now, and Mark Andrews. Is there any other tight ends that are kind of active in the league now? You look at and kind of either model your game on, or you kind of look at as an inspiration at the moment.
Not too much, but like I'm really excited for some of the like dudes about to be in the league. Like obviously I look up to DMR, my old teammate on the Titans. But like the Tyler Warren, the Penn State kid, like he's gonna be nice. What's his name? The dude from Bowling Green and the dude from Michigan. They were both drafted over the weekend.
Cortland Loveland, nice. The Bears.
Yeah. Those dudes gonna be nice. Like, the tight end position's like evolving so much. Like you got so many dudes now, right? Who 10 years ago would have been seen as like just blockers, right? Or like unathletic dudes that are now like making plays downfield and doing stuff. So like I don't know, like it's just exciting times to like be a tight end and like be developing and playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at something like Brock Bowers last year. He's a wide receiver. He's not a tight end. I mean, that's like you mentioned. It's evolved so much, and you mentioned it earlier in the conversation that there's so many tight ends now that are slot receivers as well.
Yeah, like it's crazy, but like there's always going to be money there for dudes who can block.
Yeah,
like most tight ends are the point of attack on most run plays. Like if you can't block, you better catch the ball real well, otherwise it ain't gonna last too long.
Excellent. So let's move on. You mentioned there that you're coming back home next month. You told us before we came on, this will be your first time back home since you moved over there. Before we go on to talk about the camp that you've got, are you excited for coming back home?
Yeah, like it's been a long time coming, and like it's just like I can't really put it into words too much, but it's like being able to go home and like see my family and like go there as a different like person basically. So like I came out here like just on like just the way I look, like I didn't have no facial hair. I was 215 pounds. I'm 265 pounds now. Like I live by myself. I got an apartment. Like, I got my own apartment. Like I've grown up and I've developed so much as a person. It's like being able to go back and like tell everyone the stories that I have and like share the things I've learned is like what I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I say it will be very exciting to get back and see your family. And I watched interviews that you done with George, and like that you done one 2 years ago, and you done one last year, and you've done this one with us. And if you look at those three interviews side by side, you think you're two completely or three different people. You can see the evolution of the size of you growing in with the weightlifting.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So as we mentioned, you're coming back to do your own football camp on the 17th of May in Straithenvale in London. Anybody that's signed up for that camp already, what can they expect on the day?
So like for me, like I always believe like the best talent out of the UK hasn't come out yet. Like it's always gonna like continue to get better. Like the dudes that are coming after me are gonna be way better. The dudes that come after them are even gonna be even better than them, right? So like for me, it's gonna focus heavily on like fundamentals and building the love of the game, right? So I want to be able to spread the knowledge that I have and like the experiences I've had and how the process kind of works. Whether you're gonna go play in Europe, play in BAFA, or go try and play in the NCAA, like I've coached and known people, or I've gone through that process myself, right? So like, first of all, it's gonna be a big like knowledge day, right? Like Q&As, seminars, recruiting, how that all works, the process. But then it's gonna be like, okay, cool, we're gonna work out and like we're gonna show me and my coach and stuff that are gonna be there on the day. Like we're gonna show you what happens at a combine, right? Whether it's NFL Academy, Team GB, or America. This is how a combine and a camp works, right? These are the techniques. We're gonna teach techniques, right? Technique. Like when things get hard or you go to these events, you're not going to rise up to the occasion. You're going to fall back on the techniques and the habits that you have, right? So we're going to develop techniques and fundamentals and understanding of how things are done. So hopefully these kids can go back to their friends and their teams and their coaches and like show these guys like, okay, cool. Like this is what I learned and this is the experience that I learned it from. Like this could really help us, right?
Yeah.
So that's like one of the main aims of the camp. So we're going to work on camp fundamentals and technique. We're going to work on position specific fundamentals and technique, from stances to releases to reads. I've got former NFL Academy linebackers and some coaches coming down to teach linebackers and DBs. Myself's going to do like tight end receiver work. I've got Sam Fenton coming down to work with some quarterbacks. So it's gonna be like a great day to understand like, okay, cool, I'm a receiver, but like this is how we line up and run routes.
Yeah.
Like this is what a quarterback's seeing, right? And then we're gonna move into like one-on-ones and like competitive, like fun stuff to like get the energy going and like really get something out of it. But like my biggest thing is like I want people to come to my camp. I want them to leave the camp being like, I now understand what I do and why I do it even better than I did before. Because it's like I always say, we've got athletes, right? We got dudes who love the game. Like, if the UK had enough high-level experienced coaches, would be unstoppable, right? So if I can spread the little knowledge that I have onto these guys and they take it back and it spreads, like we all get better.
Yeah.
And I just want to see the next generation like, get better and better. So yeah, that's kind of what you expect out of the camp. And I think it's going to be like a great experience for a lot of people, myself included.
Yeah. Is the sign-up still available, Peter? Can people still sign up?
Yeah, so if you go to my Instagram, I am Peter Clarke, there's a link in my bio for the camp application form. There's also some posters, some videos. We got MVP prize bags. We got a whole bunch of stuff to have there on the day. But yeah, it's gonna be great.
Perfect. We'll share out the information as well for sign up for people as well. So anybody that's watching or listening, keep an eye on the social media. We'll share that out as well. It's only three weeks away or 3.5 weeks away. So we're looking to see how that plays out, Peter. One last question I want to ask you just before we let you go to your exam obviously coming up. Like, if you could give, let's just say, 2 pieces of advice for any young player in the UK at the moment, whether they're just coming into the game, whether they're playing well at the academy, what two pieces of advice would you give them?
Don't take anything for granted. One, like, you have to understand that, like, some kids are not going to get into the NFL academy. Some kids aren't going to get an opportunity, right? And if you do get those opportunities, even if you're not playing at the NFL academy, you're playing at your Batha team. Like, you have more than what some kids have, right? And you can make it out of any situation. Like, you can make it no matter what you have. As long as you work hard and you strive to be the best that you can be, you have a shot at making it. The only way you don't is if you don't try, right? That would be number one. I'll say the other piece of advice is, like, don't be afraid to ask questions, right? Like, I have kids DM me all the time. Now, like, I'm busy and I'm in school and in university too, right? So, like, it might take a while to get a reply, but there's a bunch of people across BAFRA and across Europe. If you send them a DM, they know somebody or them themselves are going to get you an answer, right? Like, I had so many people that I would look up to and, like, send a DM, or, like, after practice, stay and, like, speak to the men's players as they're warming up for practice. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions. This community is tighter than you think. Like, I know players up and down the country, all across Europe. And whenever kids from a certain country or a certain team message me, I usually have someone I can, like, send them to and be like, hey, like, if you message this guy, like, he's going to look out for you. So I'll just be like, don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a bunch of guys here who are going to be big brothers, who are going to be uncles. Like, just get someone that knows what they're doing and just hold on tight. Like,
that's it's gonna
like, it's all going to be okay.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much for joining us on this episode, Peter. We are really looking forward to seeing how the next couple of years pans out for you. We're really looking forward to watching you next season. Hopefully we can get you on at the end of the season, have another chat, see how things are, and see if we'll get the fourth iteration of Peter Clarke at the end of next season.
No, for sure. Thank you guys for having me. It was fun.
Excellent. Sarah, thanks for joining me in the chair tonight.
No, thank you so much for having me on. It's been absolutely amazing. All I can, like, sort of think of it, Peter, is I'm just like, how the heck? Because you're just like, oh, I'm still, like, I'm doing schoolwork. And I'm like, I can't even, like, get up in the morning, go to work, and, like, go to the gym afterwards. I'm like, how the heck are you doing classes, exams, like, assignments? Like, oh my goodness. Like, the full appreciation that I have for, like, D1 athletes in college is absolutely wild now. The level of discipline stuff you guys have is just incredible. But yeah, thank you for sharing your story. It's also amazing to just feel and hear what you want for the sport to continue to develop. It's so inspirational, and I really hope there's somebody out there listening to it takes that on, because I would if I was that person.
Yeah. No.
Perfect. To everyone that's watching and listening, thank you very much. Make sure and follow us on Instagram for all our latest content. You'll find all our previous episodes on YouTube and all your major podcast platforms. So make sure you subscribe. Until next time, we'll see you soon.